Hello everyone, my name is Arun. I'm Solutions Architect, MCT, working with Novin Tech, which is one of the best organization to work with. This is my channel, and today we are going to describe MS Defender for Cloud. Yes, that's the next chapter in this series, in this playlist. So let's get started. So MS Defender for Cloud. Let's take this idea. Let's suppose you have this Azure subscription. Okay. What it is? It is Azure subscription, correct? And in subscription, you would have multiple resources, all kind of resources. Like you might have a VM, you might have an app service, or storage, or DevOps, also linked with this subscription. So let's quickly name them. It's your VM, it's your app or web app, right? This is your storage, this is your DevOps, all right? But this is not it. And nowadays, mostly in enterprise, we also have resources running in other clouds like AWS, GCP, maybe, or maybe on premises. So you could say we have resources here as well. This is on-prem, all right? And we have, this is another cloud, you could say GCP or AWS. All right. So this is the entire thing which is running. And we all know cloud is shared security model. It's not like if you're running anything on cloud, it is secured by default because it is in cloud. It's not like that. And we have covered this many times, even in this playlist. So, which means we have to prepare for the security, which means Defender for Cloud. Defender for Cloud is CNAPP. Okay. If you're wondering what is CNAPP, I'll tell you CNAPP. This is what the Defender for Cloud is. CNAPP, which is Cloud Native Application Protection Platform, CNAPP. We can make a note here. This is just so that you guys know what it is. It is Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. Okay, that's what the CNAPP is. So this will help you understand what is MS Defender for Cloud. It is CNAPP, which is Cloud Native App Protection Platform. Okay, Cloud Native App Protection Platform. All right, and it doesn't make any sense to us. So let's carry on and understand what MS Defender for Cloud is. For now, just stay with me. It is a cloud native, which is belongs to the cloud native. It's an application protection platform. It means whatever resources running the application, it will protect those resources. Where you are running the application from development to deployment to runtime, the entire life cycle would be protected by this Defender for Cloud. So think of it as a security guard plus advisor for all your Azure, multi-cloud or hybrid scenario, because whenever you think of it, you will think from this perspective. We have created in our design on-prem and GCP, AWS, and Azure resources under Defender for Cloud, which means all these can be protected with the help of MS Defender for Cloud. All right. So this Defender for Cloud has uh, three capabilities. Okay. Let's understand what are those capabilities. All these things will help you understand what is MS Defender for Cloud. So the very first capability is DevSecOps. Yes, it is there in the Defender for Cloud. CSPM. What is CSPM? It is Cloud Security Posture Management. It is the posture. of your cloud security. Then CWPP, which is Cloud Workload Protection. CWP, Cloud Workload Protection. All right. These are the three capabilities that our MS Defender for Cloud provides. Now let's understand these capabilities. Okay. So DevSecOps is like securing your code and pipeline before deployment. So as I was saying, the entire life cycle of your application. So it starts from the development, which is DevSecOps. It secures your code and pipelines before deployment. And once it is deployed, it is getting deployed on the resources which needs to be managed. The posture of your cloud security. It identifies misconfiguration and improves compliance across cloud resources. Posture management. And once it is deployed, we need to protect it, which is actively protects workloads like your VMs, containers, storage, database against threats. Like all these resources we have, all these will be protected by MS Defender for Cloud with the help of this capability. This capability will help you with the posture management, find out the misconfiguration and improve your compliance. All those recommendations will come through these capabilities. And for your application development, the information come from the security, come from the DevSecOps capabilities. So you could simply say now it is a unified solution. Okay. Now, why unified solution? As you can see, it takes care of on-prem, GCP, AWS, and Azure resources. Plus, you need not to have a different security module for development, different for deployment, different for runtime. It is unified. That brings together everything under one roof, and it protects your application across the entire life cycle. Let me write it down here. Entire life cycle of app. And what is that life cycle? That is development, deployment, and runtime. As you can see here, this is the entire life cycle of your application, right? And you can relate it with these capabilities easily. Development comes on the DevSecOps, okay? Runtime CWP, and deployment is where exactly you are deploying all those resources. You will get the recommendation from the posture management. So this is what the MS Defender for Cloud is. It's a unified solution. It is a cloud native application platform, protection platform. It is your security guard plus advisor. It has the capability of DevSecOps, cloud security posture management, cloud workload protection, and it takes care of the entire life cycle of your application. You could also say it provides a comprehensive view of your security across all the platform. It is like this. All these are covered under MS Defender for Cloud. MS Defender for Cloud, right? So it will protect from attacks configured correctly, like if the misconfiguration that we talked about under CSPM, and it will also help you for the compliance purpose as well. So we are now good with what? Okay. What means what is MS Defender for Cloud? We can easily explain this to anyone. If somebody asks, what is MS Defender for Cloud? You can simply say it is CNAPP or Cloud Native Application Protection Platform, which has the capabilities of DevSecOps, CSPM, CWP. DevSecOps will help you secure your code and pipelines, and CSPM is your posture management, which will help you find out misconfiguration and help you improve the compliance. CWP is your workload protection, which will actively protect your workloads. Doesn't matter what workload it is. It can work with the VM, containers, storage, database, anything, right? And it will give you a unified solution for the entire life cycle of application from development to deployment to runtime. That's what the MS Defender for cloud is. Now the question comes, all right, we get it what it is. So why do we use it? A lot of things can easily come out of the what, but let's try to explain it. Why do we use it? Now we are answering the question why. So why do we use it? Well, the very first thing is, as we say, we are running all these resources in on-premises, GCP and everything, and we are uh, aware it is tough to manage all of those things. So we should have something which will give us the information of our security, which is the posture. So it will help us strengthen the security posture, correct? For example, imagine you deployed 20 VMs for your app. Some don't have disk encryption or endpoint protection enabled. So Defender Workload will flag these issues in the secure score dashboard and will suggest you to fix these. If we take an example of uh, any other thing that you're deploying in Azure, but it is not meeting the minimum security which is there, it will flag it and it will put you recommendations and you can easily use it to fix it. All right. Then it protection or like protect workload. Okay. We are trying to answer the question why are we using it? Okay. It will help us to strengthen the security posture. It will actively defend our resources 24/7. Doesn't matter what resource it is, it has the capabilities as per the resources, as per the workload. So it will help us to protect the workloads. We can take this example like, let's suppose there's a web server, VM gets hit with a brute force RDP attack. Hackers trying thousands of passwords. Now, Defender for Cloud detects unusual login attempts, raise an alert, and can auto block the suspicious IPs. That will help you, right? Protect your workloads. Then it will help you comply with standards because if we are using these services, we are enterprise or organizations may be following some kind of standard like CIS, ISO, PCI. So it will help us protecting those compliance. For example, let's suppose there is a bank running a workload in Azure needs to meet PCI DSS compliance for handling credit card or credit card data. So Defender for Cloud provides a compliance dashboard showing gaps and gives step-by-step recommendations to fix them. Now, if you are wondering, it seems like something that we have seen somewhere, like Azure policies, then you are correct. In the backend, it is utilizing the policies, the initiatives, right? Okay, then it will help us with comply with the standards. Then it will give you visibility, which is must because we have environment on premises, GCP in Azure, all these things in different environment, different infrastructure, different altogether, right? But we can have a one dashboard of the security. It will give you the great visibility. Okay. One dashboard because Defender for Cloud is not just for Azure, it also monitors other resources. Okay. Now we are good with this. And there is one more thing we can add here, maybe because we mentioned the DevSecOps and we have not mentioned anything for DevSecOps. So it will secure from code to cloud. Like developers can catch misconfiguration or insecure code early in the pipeline. They can, and this Defender for Cloud for DevSecOps will also flag, for example, if there is an NSG in your ISE code, which has open port for everyone, it will flag it then and there. Okay. So secure code to cloud, let's put it this way. So if we get all these things when we use Like that's why we use the MS Defender for cloud, especially when we have our environment scattered to different places, not only Azure because of some business reasons. So instead of doing manually or going here and there on different infrastructure, it is absolutely good to have a single pane of glass for security. Okay, so it will. We can make one more point here. Just like it just came out of the discussion, the single pane of glass, right? Instead of managing separate tools for cloud config compliance and workload protection to different environments, you get one integrated platform, which is MS Defender for cloud. All right. Now, all these things that we talked here is from the business or goals perspective. Now, let's try to see what problems it is actually solving. Okay. Now we are trying to find the things that it will fix. Okay. The problems it will solve. The very first thing is misconfigurations. Misconfigurations or misconfigured resources. Because once it's done, only then it will let you know, not during it, right? So it is like let's suppose you are spinning up a resources quickly and forget to enable encryption or maybe disable public access or configure firewalls, anything which is making your environment vulnerable. So these weak points become easy entry doors for attackers, and Defender for Cloud detects this and recommends disabling public access or enabling encryption. Okay, then in this environment, as we have seen a lot of things, what we are going to put here, you'll find it here, but here the perspective is business and goals. Here the perspective of from the operations, like how we are getting it. So visibilities, again, we can put it here because in this growing environment where we have multiple subscriptions, different environment, maybe hybrid or multi-cloud, it is hard to know if all resources follow best practices. But Defender for Cloud shows a secure score across clouds and highlight risky resources with guided fix. So visibility across all the environment. So that problem it can fix. The problem is not visibility, problem is lack of visibility. Okay. Now there is another problem usually from the traditional aspect, like difficulty in detecting advanced threats. We should difficulty in detecting threats. Okay, like ransomware or brute force attacks, as per the traditional monitoring tools, which may not notice suspicious behavior until it's too late. But like with the help of MS Defender for Cloud, it raises a real-time alert and can auto block the attacker's IP. So that problem can also be fixed. Now, compliance, we all know this will help us to, if there is a issue with compliance, you're unable to manage or maintain or get the information. So it ensure that organizations meet compliance. You can understand this with this example. Let's suppose your bank's auditor asks, are all databases encrypted and protected with strong authentication? What you will do? Will you just scramble together evidence from the different teams? No. Defender for Cloud maps your environment against compliance frameworks and shows gaps with exact remediation steps. So you can have the data then there, right? And I have mentioned this point. This is a good point. Like there are multiple type of services like virtual machines, database, containers, storage, application, as I showed you, and they have their own security challenges, right? And you can't secure them all manually. So what I'm trying to say, workload specific issues or threats or blind spots that can be easily managed by MS Defender for Cloud, a one solution for all unified solution. For example, SQL database not patched, vulnerable for the injections. Kubernetes cluster has overly permissive pods, which is potential container breakout. Storage shows ransomware like activity, like mass deletion or something like that. So Defender for Cloud adds specialized protection for each service. You only need to go and enable Defender for Cloud for storage, for application, for AKS or container or SQL. It will take care of that piece. All right. So these are some problems that helps solve problems it solves. Now both the perspectives are clear why we should use it. Why should we use MS Defender for cloud? Because if a business guy is asking that question, you can simply explain with the help of all these things. A strengthened security posture, it protects workload, comply with the standards, give one dashboard, secure code to the cloud. And if somebody from the operations perspective asking, you can simply ask them, what is your problem? Are you getting any misconfiguration? Defender for cloud help you. Are you not able to get the visibility because your environment is very wide and scattered? There is your solution. If you're finding difficulty in finding threats in on-premises resources, there is your solution. Like that. Already. So now it's time to see how does Microsoft Defender for Cloud works. Okay. So let's suppose we have just enabled our Defender for Cloud for all those resources. So what would happen? Let me just for the sake of uh, understanding, let's suppose there is our MS Defender, which we have enabled here. Okay. So what would happen? All the telemetry data will come to the Defender. This is for the understanding. Okay. So data will come here. What data? It will collect the data collection, because without data, how come Defender knows what is going on in the environment, the configuration and all? Okay, data collection will happen and central analysis will happen. Why? Just very simple example. How come Defender will know you don't have NSG on any resource, or the storage is not encrypted? So it fetches all that data from your logs, your resource properties, your activity logs, threat signals from agents, native services. So it gathers, once you enable Defender, it gathers all the data, it collects the telemetry and configuration data across your environment. Now, this data that it has collected will help him, because now there are some policies. Remember, Defender works from the backend. There are some policies. For example, by default, you're not doing anything, but still it is giving, even the free Microsoft Defender for Cloud gives you some good recommendations, right? Because in the back end, policies are the Azure policies. Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark is there. So this data, MS Defender, what MS Defender will do? MS Defender will compare the data with the policies. Okay. And once this policy will give what is the right way of configuration, or which configuration is missing, then this guy will give you all those recommendations. Okay. So it will send to the policies or compare with the policies. And in return, it will have all those things which are missing. So it will give you what? Recommendations and fixes. It is coming from the policy. That's the reason it can also be fixed from that portal also. Okay. That's how it works. Now, policies could be your, compliance policies. It is applicable there also. Now, we can think this from this was, as of now, was from the posture management perspective. Whatever is happening in the environment, all the data get collected and analysis sent by Defender, or compare. Defender will compare with the policies, and all those things which doesn't match as per the standards will come as a recommendations and fixes. Okay, so that's how it is working. Now, what about the threat detection and runtime protection, which is our CWPP piece? So Defender for Cloud, the data that it is getting, the telemetry source and threat intelligence, this data will be compared with the threat intelligence. So MS Defender for Cloud also has access to the threat intelligence data. Okay. Threat intelligence data. So whatever is happening as per the data that is being analyzed, this will be again compared to this threat intelligence, and all those things will happen. Like if you find there is a brute force, it will simply flag the IP or block the IP, because it has that information already in the intelligence data, which is growing day by day, every day, real time. Okay, so it can easily monitor brute force, login attempts, malware behavior, lateral movement, malicious IP, because it already has that information. It just need to gather the data and compare it with the existing information. And when detected, it generates the security alerts and offers details to help investigate and respond. All right, so that's how it works. So Defender for Cloud, if you think from the DevSecOps integration perspective, Defender for Cloud integrates with your DevOps tools as well, that we you use to for your repo, for your pipelines like GitHub, Azure DevOps, to scan your code, CI/CD pipelines, and IAC for vulnerabilities and misconfiguration before deployment. Again, the things is happening, data is getting collected and it is being compared with the standards, and whatever doesn't meet, it will give you as a recommendation. If it is a threat, it will give you as an alert. So this let you apply shift left security, which is DevSecOps is shift left security, which means towards the development. Because even if you see here, development is left, runtime is right, or deployment is right. So development is left means we are trying to get the security in the development phase as much as we can, so that our code from beginning is secure. We are also deploying infrastructure through the code, so our infrastructure is also secure because security is embedded in the code. That's what it means. All right, so I hope it was informative and you enjoyed the video. Well, thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.